Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Tominator, or Tom Cherichello. Welcome to another exciting episode of the TomCast. Big Joe is with us today. Hey,
How
Big
you
Joe.
doing, Tom? Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Seen you in a week.
We need to mention, shout out, today's Joe's birthday.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I'm an old fart.
There's a lot of gamblers in the Boston area that are losing money because they bet that Joe wouldn't be alive today and they lost their bets.
50. I was supposed to be done
15 years
at
ago.
49.
Joe's way over on the over.
I got it over.
He's a miracle of modern science.
Oh, yeah. 2 livers.
Also with us today is noted personal injury attorney and golf analyst Michael Fay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Mike, good to have you
Thanks
back.
for having me again.
Good seeing you, Mike.
Well, let's get right to it. I think the big sports story is this past weekend's U.S. Open golf tournament. J.J. Spaun. Guys have any thoughts on that?
You know, he really hung in there. He had some bad breaks early. He hit the pin, and the ball went like 100 yards down the fairway. The next hole, he just missed the green, hit a rake, and went crazy. And, you know, I think he started with 5 5s, but the rain delay really helped him. I think he regathered himself and got his composure. And he played great down
Yeah,
the
he
stretch.
kept his composure. That's basically what I was going to say. Just the fact he kept his composure. And it was good seeing him win. Originally, I wanted Scheffler, but, you know, how many times can he keep taking Scheffler?
It's a great success story. For those who don't follow professional golf, they have something what they call a tour card. Like, you can't even play in a pro tournament if you don't have this tour card. And if you don't do well enough, they take it away. I mean, you guys would know more about it, I think, than I do.
Unless you get an exemption. Unless you get a player's exemption.
156 guys get on it. If you don't finish in the top 156, then you're out, and then some guys from Corn Ferry can make it. Or
Yeah.
So he lost his at least once, maybe twice, and had to come back. He was ready to just
He was
give
ready
up
to
golf
throw in the towel.
and take a real job.
As a matter of fact, he watched that movie, I guess, on a plane, I think, about Wimbledon. I never saw it, but there was a movie where Kirsten Dunst was in it, something about Wimbledon, something to do with Wimbledon. I don't know. And I never saw the thing, but I guess it spurred him on never to give up.
Well, you know, Ben Griffin,
And
who's
he
a top 20 player in
yeah.
the world, he did quit golf in 2021. He was working for UPS.
That's right.
And then,
That's right.
And then now
Yeah.
I think he's had 5 top 10s and a win this year.
Yeah.
We could almost have a show about famous athletes who quit or had to get Kurt Warner is a big one. You ever see that movie with Zachary Levi, the actor who played Kurt Warner? He was working at a supermarket, stocking shelves, and he had to play in the Arena Football League. He was ready to just quit and just get a real job.
Yeah.
And of course, Michael Jordan quit to play baseball.
Well, I don't think he needed the money.
No, he didn't.
He just wanted to be a prima donna. He wanted to show the world he was. Well, he didn't quite show everybody that he was that great in the game.
I didn't live here then, but when he played baseball, he was playing in Sarasota because that's where the White Sox were training at that time. And the people share stories of Michael Jordan around town. He'd go into Hooters and see Michael Jordan, or go into supposedly hung out at Gecko's. Gecko's is a restaurant chain in Sarasota.
Which one did he hang out at?
The Landings. It's not there anymore, but Gecko's a pretty good casual dining place. We go there. They have bar, indoor outdoor bar, most of their locations, and pretty good food. I love their Cobb salad. But I think Michael Jordan used to hang out at Gecko's.
I love Geckos.
Yeah.
It's good bar, good food.
But Larry Bird out of high school went to the University of Indiana, and some people think he didn't get along with Bobby Knight but I think it was more he went into a bigger city from a small town, and it didn't work out. So Larry Bird quit the University of Indiana and was working as a garbage man in his hometown, and then Indiana State came to him and said, "Hey, come play for us." And obviously the rest is history. But that's another example of a guy. Larry Bird could have just kept being a garbage man his whole life. One of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah, I mean, so J.J. Spaun, I mean, he before this tournament, he was the 25th ranked golfer in the world, so he wasn't a no-name.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost in a playoff to McIlroy at the
Yeah.
Players' Championship earlier in the year. So
Yeah.
he's all the way up to number 8 now, and he's third in the Ryder Cup standing, so he's going to make the team pretty much guaranteed. So
I
mean,
guess it
he's
was
really come a long ways.
midway through last year, where he got in his mind that he really wanted to, do I give up the game? Where he started, his mind, he just went in a state of depression, I guess, thinking, he was in a real bad slump. He missed like 8 cuts or something in a row back in the middle of 24 or whatever. I don't exactly know when, but he went into a slump, and then
he seems like a good guy too. You said the story. He was up till 3 a.m. with his daughter who was vomiting the night before the final round.
Yeah.
Well, he lived in California. I don't think he does anymore. I think he moved to Arizona. But when he lived in California, he has 2 daughters, and he had the season pass for Disneyland. Like, he just loved to take his daughters to Disneyland. Like, they would go all the time. And no formal lessons growing up. Like, his parents gave him, those plastic golf clubs to see what little kids have.
Yeah.
They gave him them when he was like 2 or 3 or something. But he never took lessons, which is unusual. Usually these guys been getting lessons since they were little kids, a lot of them.
He's not a big guy, and he can
He's
pound
5'8",
the ball.
yeah.
Yeah.
One interesting PGA story is that they just hired a new commissioner. They took the number 2
that's
guy
what Monahan-
at the NFL that was behind Goodell, because Goodell, they were rumored to give him a long-term contract, and this guy didn't want to sit behind him forever. But he was really instrumental in growing the NFL, doing the Thursday night games, the Sunday night games, international events. And I think that the PGA Tour will really benefit from someone who has that kind of
Oh,
experience.
yeah. I see what you're saying.
I would love to see like a Live versus PGA Tour event, like on a Christmas Day kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they play NFL games like Christmas
Right.
Day.
And they
Who
do
would
that
have
thing
thought?
where DeChambeau goes out and get one-on-one. Yeah, do some sort of team thing.
Yes.
Maybe do a team thing, like a little Ryder Cup.
I'd love a
Maybe
nighttime,
some sort of
tournament.
Yeah.
Would be fun.
Yeah, they can easily do that in
Yeah.
Vegas with a light. Yeah, you're right.
So I think that it'll really grow, and it'll be good for it to have somebody else who's not a golf guy to come in and sort of look at things.
Because they got a bunch of problems with regulating it. They want to They want to have everybody use a uniform golf ball. I don't think that'll ever happen. But they want to get one golf ball, and they don't have everybody on board with that.
I don't think that'll happen because of the money.
Yeah.
I mean, golf makes their money off these equipment manufacturers.
What do you Shit Camp Pinnacle and
Titleist
I mean, Titleist
like all those are not going to agree to
I'm
that
sure
unless it's their ball.
would win. Yeah, almost
Yes.
all the guys use that.
Yeah. Pro V1.
Another issue with JJ is in this world we're in now, with what's going on with immigration, things like that. His mother is Filipino Mexican, I think he was born in the USA, but he made a point of discussing that.
Where was his dad?
His dad was is European based, European ancestry.
Are they divorced? I didn't quite know what was
I don't think they're
going on.
divorced.
I expected maybe.
I think his dad works a real job. Like his parents work regular jobs. They're not rich or anything like that.
Not anymore. Not after the 4.3 million he picked up last weekend.
I mean, the media was alluding to the kind of I want to say the weirdness between the husband and wife, the interaction between the husband and wife at the end of the thing. He's kind of dancing around with a caddy, paying attention to kids, and he and the wife. I don't know if he's mad at him because he had to run out to Walmart and get the medication because everybody was up chucking in the morning. What the deal was?
Oh, you mean Spahn and his wife
Yeah,
were fighting or something?
yeah.
Well,
there were articles about that. They just thought there was a kind of an awkward moment with he and his wife, because usually you're up hugging your wife, you're basically breaking down in tears. And
I didn't see that.
None of that.
I didn't see that.
No, well,
I didn't see any unusual interaction.
It didn't exist. What they're saying is it didn't exist. There was no real embracing the wife on the green, and and it was I don't know. It just he didn't go scooting right up.
Maybe
to the wife
because she was holding the little kid, she didn't want everyone getting sick, so she was keeping them apart.
Yeah. That could have been it. I don't know. The media blows things.
Or maybe she was feeling sick and didn't want to be around.
Who knows? But the media, they made some to-dos over that too.
And another to-do is Wyndham Clark. This is the second time he's had So this time he didn't make the cut, and he beat the crap out of
the lockers.
The original lockers in 1903, original lockers, and they're all like handmade.
They're like mahogany. I think they're like mahogany.
Yeah,
they're gorgeous. They were gorgeous looking.
And he's going to get a big fine. It's the second time he's done that at the PGA Championship. He hit a bad drive and fired his driver really fast, and it hit a sign, broke in half, and the the shaft went up and hit a spectator and cut the spectator on the shoulder.
What state did that happen?
That happened in Pennsylvania.
Is that Fate Law representing?
No, that
this
was
guy?
PGA Championship. So
That was PGA
Would you take
Champions.
that case, Mike?
And well, the one that just happened was in Pennsylvania,
Yes.
in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
I'd like to have a case.
Yeah,
of
that's
the
right.
guy.
He's
Yeah.
involved in two
So
states.
either he's going to be paying a lot of money or he'll be sitting out the next one.
Yeah.
But something's going to happen.
No, that's not called for. That's you need to be a good sport, win or lose. But I think it's one thing that's really promoted the popularity of golf. Like when I was a kid, like believe it or not, when I was a kid, bowling had higher TV ratings than golf, for real. And I think the reason was the average person had no connection to golf. Unless you were rich, you never played golf, you never stepped foot on a golf course. And Tiger Woods really was a big part of changing that, and,
For sure.
And now you got guys like, quote unquote, regular guys winning these tournaments like JJ. I think it's great that golf is sort of opening up to the masses.
Yeah.
Regular people and,
Yeah, I mean, there are the Maverick McNeelys who's, a
That's a
billionaire,
billionaire,
and had lived on a private course, but it's not the way it was that anymore, for sure.
I'm not saying I root against guys that are like Maverick McNeely or whatever, but I think it's great that, we're guys that didn't get lessons. Like, I never, picked up a golf club until I was like, 14 or something, 15, and like, I mean, these guys, he didn't get lessons and, what didn't grow up privileged, and here he is winning the But talk about, like, I think at one point on the back nine, wasn't it like a 5-way tie for the lead?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this tournament, he did drain some crazy long putts. Like, you almost think that there was somebody up there looking down on him.
I think you should do like a little Tominator podcast of a scramble and have the, follow you around with the cameras and mic you up and watch Joe's swing get worse with every Coors Light.
Joe swings horrible to begin with.
I think, and you
swing like
you
I'm
could
cutting
dub in
wood.
some of your best and worst shots and do a little clip.
I don't know if are we equipped for remote. All right. Well, congratulations to JJ Spawn, and we'll move on to hockey. The Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup last night,
Again.
5-1. That's their second consecutive Stanley Cup.
You know what's sad is that no one down in southern Florida, I think, even cares.
No.
Edmonton, the whole city was outside watching.
Very few Americans were involved.
And they
There weren't
wanted
too
to
many
win.
American eyes.
Yeah. Edmonton wants to win so bad, and the people in Miami are just on the beach and having a drink at the Soho Club.
I bet half of Miami doesn't even know who won the hockey game or if there was a hockey game.
For sure, 99% of Miami
Yeah.
doesn't. I think the only people that even follow them really are the transplants that moved from the Northeast and are down there and kind of picked up their team.
I think you're probably right. I mean, I don't think they sell out like every game. You can get tickets.
What is the award they give? I was looking. I guess Marchand had a chance of getting that. The guy that got
MVP
not
of the-
transferred. Yeah. Well, did he get MVP of this? But he didn't get that award. There was some star. Oh, I forget what the name of the award.
I think
was.
the Conn Smythe Award goes
The
to
Conn Smythe.
That goes to MVP of the Stanley Cup.
Well, he definitely won it then because he scored a goal like every game.
That's what they said about Marchand, but I don't think he won it. Some other guy won it.
I don't think he
surprised
did
about
win
that.
it. I think it was one of his
They
teammates.
gave, they said, because he had only been there a year, but they said it would have been the first time, had he won it, it would have been the first time ever that someone only been on a team for 1 year that got the award. It really felt like he was a very, I think I read the breakdown, he got 22 points or 10 goals, 12 assists, something to that effect. It was 22 points. And he didn't get this thing.
They had a slow start, the Panthers. Like, even though they were defending champions,
Yeah.
they had injury problems. There was a time in the season where there was question whether they would even make the playoffs, and their players got, their injured players came back, and they got Marchand. Really great trade. They didn't give up much to get him, and he just was a spark that ignited the team. And I said that when they played the Tampa Bay Lightning, our hometown team. The Lightning played the best team early in the playoffs because that's how the seedings went. Yeah. And
what was it? 2-6. What wasn't the Lightning favored ahead of?
They were seeded higher. They finished ahead of them. But this is 4 of the last 5 years. You talk about Florida. The Stanley Cup champion is from Florida. Yeah. The Lightning won 2, and now Florida won 2.
Do you think that the no state income tax helps the fact that players want to come here? I mean, when you're talking about that kind of money, we're talking
millions and millions. Yeah,
$10 million, and you're not paying 11%.
Yeah,
that you can save 1.1 million.
I know
in
my folks.
I mean, I
know they made it their primary state.
I'm not a tax attorney, but certainly you would save money. But like, I think if you play a road game, you have to pay tax to that state.
That could be the case for sports.
But still, you're playing half your games at home. That's still a huge savings if you're making $5 million a year. And even if the state income tax is 3%, I mean, you're talking about a dramatic savings.
For sure.
Yeah. And
so it just doesn't seem like it's a coincidence that the Florida teams
you're right.
are winning. I didn't think of that. When this isn't a region for hockey. Yeah.
I wonder if that goes into players' thinking when they decide where they want to go.
I know that the Canadian teams have to pay the players a little bit more. That they'll say, I want to get paid in U.S. dollars, I want to pay paid in crypto or whatever, because the dollar is 85%.
I think right now the U.S. It's 70 cents to $1, so like one Canadian dollar is worth like 70 cents U.S.
That's why they film all the movies up there too, because it's so much cheaper to pay everyone.
Connecticut no state income taxes. I think Foxwood somehow gets involved in that.
I would doubt it. I know it's mostly like the southern and western states. Like New Hampshire has no income tax.
Yeah,
Nevada has no.
Florida, Nevada does not. I believe Texas does not.
I know Mass or Rhode Island do. They're off the charts.
New Jersey's crazy.
Massachusetts
has to be a red state.
So congratulations to the Florida Panthers, their second consecutive Stanley Cup. They'll probably be having some kind of parade, like I would think in the next couple of days. Yeah. There'll be some kind of celebration down there.
Should we drive across the street and the state and watch?
Their arena's nowhere near Miami. I think the arena's in...
Where do we go, the Ellington Ice Rink? Is that still in existence? Gary had a lean on that.
They'll have a parade and like just the families and wives and kids will be there.
Yeah. Oh, God.
But it's not like they're going to have a parade in downtown Miami. They play their games like 45 minutes away. NBA playoffs. Oklahoma City's up 3-2, best of 7. Game 6 is tomorrow in Indiana. Think Indiana will push it to a Game 7?
Not if Halliburton's hurt.
He's hurt?
Well,
that's the key. You're right.
He limped off and he was having an MRI on his calf. I read yesterday.
Yeah, if he's not 100%, that's going to be tough.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to win anyway.
Yeah,
but
I
they're
think
definitely not going to win if he doesn't.
I think no matter what, Oklahoma City's going to win the whole thing, be it 7 or 6. You know, it's funny when they talk. Going back to that Game 4 just for a second, the spread. Tom and I were looking at the spread is Oklahoma City's favored by 6.5, and it's at Indy. Now Indy's up 2-1 at this point. And I'm thinking, how the hell did they put Oklahoma up 6.5? And the whole game, Indy's covering the whole thing. At least they're going to cover they may not win, but the most they're going to lose by is maybe 2 or 3 points. They end up losing by exactly 7. Indy, it's like, Jesus, how do they know that?
I was watching one of these ESPN live betting shows, and the expert that was on there, she's been following the Pacers, and they have come back down 15 points or more 5 times.
Right.
And she live bets every time they get down 15 or more, and you get huge odds on it.
Oh, wow.
And she showed her results on her.
And she's kicking.
Yes. Kicking. And so she's like, if the Pacers get down 15 in the first quarter,
that's true.
They're getting 30-1 to win.
They do seem to close
I don't really watch that. Like I don't gamble anymore, for those who know me, but when I used to, the people, the experts like Jimmy the Greek, who most people never heard of, was a legend in like, the 1960s and 70s. And like the handicappers were like, old white guys. Now they're like hot young girls.
Yeah, I know. Hot.
The guys betting they're young guys.
Hot young girls.
And you wonder, do they really know what they're doing, or they just tell them what to say?
They tell them what they say, I think.
Maybe we should start.
Either that. I'll tell you what, they're putting on a hell of an act because a lot of them sound like they know what they're talking about.
So I think some of them know.
Yeah, I think they know to a degree.
I would agree.
In-game betting, though. But they are really hot. Like some of these handicappers on these those shows are like, these girls are, wow. The one girl's from, I think, outside of, maybe South Jersey, outside of Philly. Can't remember her name.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's dating one of the Philly players.
I mean, all these women commentate. They're all hot.
And they're all over, like, social media. They're posting on, like, Instagram and stuff.
They just want to get in the locker room.
But they're, like, getting these guys to bet by using sex.
Yeah.
For sure.
They say sex sells, right?
One issue to another.
Yeah, right? I don't know. So I think Indiana, my prediction, they will win Game 6, regardless of the injury situation. They'll gut it out at home. I really have a hard time thinking they could win Game 7 in Oklahoma City. I don't see that happen.
I think I kind of forgot that big guy got hurt. So I don't know. I mean, he's got to be only 50%, even if he's not hurt.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. But that at home, they might win that game, with or without him. So I agree with you.
And we're moving on.
I do like also that it's two tiny little cities that are playing for the championship.
Yeah.
Indianapolis, I think, only has about 400,000 people, and Oklahoma City can't have that many more.
Well, that's a discussion that's been going on for years. Like, the only, the major sport that doesn't have a salary cap is baseball.
And it's the Dodgers and the Yankees every
year.
Yankees every
year.
year.
Dodgers, Yankees every year. Maybe the Cubs, which Chicago's a big city, or Philly. But, like, it's kind of not fair. And, like, it's good to see these small market teams win.
Yeah.
And in the NFL, because they do have a true salary cap, can do it with the Steelers and the Colts and the Packers, of course. I mean, Packers, I think 100,000 people live in Green Bay. That's it.
Yeah.
And that just in sports like baseball never occurs. So I do like the fact that the NBA, although they don't have a true salary cap because they let you keep your guy on the Larry Bird rule, and you can go up and over and then pay a tax, a luxury tax. But they do that because they don't want a team to grow a star
then
lose the star to a bidding war. So I get the point behind it, but in the NFL, if you get a Patrick Mahomes, you're going to have to cut Cherichello to keep him. And I think it's a much more fair system. You know which guy you have to keep, and you're going to have to figure out who to let go.
I'm hearing the Celtics might get Kevin Durant. There might be some little trade going on. It's kind of out there, but I mean, it may happen.
It appears he's going to be traded.
He's going to be traded again.
And there's they have a list of teams that he'll go to.
Yeah.
But he's 36 and he had a torn Achilles. He's come back from that great. And what they're talking about teams want, they want 3 number 1 draft picks and a player. I'm thinking, would you give up that much for it? So maybe you get him, you win 1 championship.
Not for someone at age 36. No way.
I mean, I'd want him. I think if the right team gets him,
he is unguardable.
If the Lakers got it, he is unguardable. There's no question. I mean, a guy that size that can shoot from outside
and dribble and handle a ball. His ball handle skills are good.
The athletic ability is insane.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, if you put him on the Lakers, they win the championship. Yeah. If you put him on, the Knicks, they win the championship. If you put him on the Spurs, they probably win the championship.
The Celtics.
The Celtics, well, the Rockets.
Yeah.
You could put him on a lot of teams. And I think the NBA it's getting close. They talk about parity in the NFL. The NBA is kind of there, too. We're used to having all these dominant teams like the Bulls, the Lakers, the Celtics. But now you got Oklahoma City and Indiana.
Yeah, so I said it's refreshing. I like the little towns.
I'd like to see Yeah, you like to see that. I agree.
Wait, they were all like toothpicks too. I watched these guys come out of the locker room. I said, these guys they're combined weight. I mean, I remember before years ago, you had Bill Lambier, all these mooses. I mean, you look at some of these centers. These guys are like twigs. These centers, but they're good shooters. They can shoot from, out beyond the arc.
Chet Holmgren. I mean, he doesn't have anything on him, and he's just so athletic. And
I read an article somebody said if Larry Bird were playing today, he'd be the center. Because basketball has gotten from a game where you needed big guys, like 7-footers, they don't want that anymore. And the guys that are 7 foot, like Holmgren is...
Bird was like 6'10", right?
6'9".
Bird was 6, yeah.
But he when he played, he was like a small forward.
But they can all shoot. I mean, they're not like Shaq and...
The game has changed, no question about it, from Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar days to now. I'm not saying if a guy's 7'2", you don't want him, but you're not building your offense around that guy.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, moving on. We've been touched on every week. The P. Diddy trial drags on.
Have to admit, I don't know anything about it. Haven't followed it.
I don't know a hell of a lot, but
Well, the prosecution, they say they might rest by Friday. So then the defense will go, and defense says we're going to take maybe 2 to 5 days with our defense. So this trial could go to the jury by the end of next week. And I've been saying every week, Mike, I don't know if they got enough. Not that I'm defending the guy, but they're charging him with like sex trafficking.
I
so
tend to agree with Tom,
so
just from our little chats.
If that's all they got, and they're ready to, the prosecution's ready to rest, I think the last witness is going to be his former assistant, who you assume is going to bury him. If it was.
Well, how do you nail them on sex trafficking? That's based on what they keep talking about in the courtroom.
As I said, I haven't followed it at all, so I don't know.
No, I know.
But I assume it's getting underage
but
girls.
There's none of that. Like, all these women that are like. First of all, I think they're all have some kind of consensual relationship with him. It's not strangers. Like, they did date him at some point, but he would be nasty to them, threaten them, maybe, be violent toward them.
And then allegedly date rape, like drug them, right? And then is that what's going on?
But there's no, it's not like he was going to, a foreign country and bringing back 16-year-olds. Like, none of that has come up.
Well, they've got him not
is he a bad guy? Yeah.
He involved in any transporting?
They treat women poorly? Yeah. Should he maybe be charged with some kind of crime? Perhaps.
Well, you would think
sex trafficking?
As I said, maybe I'll read up on it. I want to read up on that, and I want to read up on this Karen Reed trial. Have you heard about that?
International transportation of women and stuff like that. I mean, they don't have any of that. I don't think they're proving any of their cases. If you look at sex trafficking for the definition of sex trafficking and the RICO Act, I don't think he's going to wind up.
So
doing,
the girlfriend had to get the hookers and whatever.
I say he gets 5 years out of this thing. Tops.
Is it on television?
No, it's not televised.
What state?
Out in 3.
It's in New York, federal court in New York.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with this Karen Reed? I don't know anything about it.
It's a suburb out of Boston. She
killed her
husband. Allegedly, they said that she ran over her husband, that she was either having an affair or talking to a guy having an affair. They were all officers, and they all knew each other.
Oh, they're police officers?
Yes. And that they said she ran him over drunk with the car. Yeah. She says that he got left out in the cold and got attacked by a dog. But they tried her. I just started reading up on it yesterday, so I'm not good at this trial, but it's huge. And you should look at it because it's going to be movies, and it's...
Is it on TV?
Yeah.
See, I like them better when they're on TV.
Yeah.
So apparently the jury's out, and so they tried her a year ago, and it was a hung jury, and they retried her again.
And that's going on right now.
Yeah, but we'll look at it and talk about that next time.
Yeah.
I'll have to do my homework on that.
Karen Reed.
All right, so at this point, we're ready to start Joe's birthday weekend celebration, which will be a 4-day celebration. And also shout out to our coworker Bethany. It's her birthday today also. They have the same day.
Her main birthday. She's 50. Me, I'm over the hill. I'm on a back 9.
I don't think she wants you to know she's 50.
I'm gonna tell everybody she's on the back 9.
I'm on the back 9.
Yeah.
I'm almost ready to head for playoff holes.
Yeah. Extra. I'm on extra holes. I was in extra holes after 49.
I get into.
I was supposed to be in a different hole.
I never had any interest in soccer as a kid, but I do watch like the World Cup. You get into it, but it's like it seems like this extra time. To me, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like you don't know how long. They could be like how much longer do we have? We don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. With soccer, how they apply the extra 5 minutes for.
Well, I think they do that because you could just kick the ball into the stands over and over and over. If you had a 1-0 lead, I would boot the thing 50 yards into the stands and get a ball.
No one knows how long the extra time is. I'm like, I can't
because it's fixed.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not easy to figure that out.
I got like 40 years of extra time.
even the guys who claim they know that, quote unquote, Jack Dills thinks he's an expert. I said, when's this ending? He can't get it within a minute. So how well do you really know this?
You got a yellow card and a red card. But it is. I actually enjoy watching it.
Red card, you booted. Two yellow cards, you're out. That much I do know.
All right. Well, that'll do it for today. I appreciate you guys coming on, and we'll start with a birthday lunch for Joe in a few minutes.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you,
Have a good
Tom.
week, everybody.